Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of the Lazen vlog. This is actually a no questions let's play episode. I'm doing this because a few friends and viewers have asked me to talk about the Legend of Zelda, so that's what we're doing today. I'm only going to be playing through the first temple, and I'm going to try and do it within the 15-minute time that YouTube is giving me. So, here we go. Now, of course, I'm going to be talking during this. Legend of Zelda is actually my favorite video game franchise. I've been playing it since before I can remember. I have all of the games except for Zelda 2, which is a monstrosity, and the CDI games. Definitely not a fan of Zelda 2. That side-scrolling RPG thing they tried to pull off didn't work at all. It was a perversion of a Zelda game, really. And it's no wonder they never went back to that style. Yeah, I know I can open the door shut. Ocarina of Time is definitely the most popular Zelda game. It's definitely my favorite as well. I've played through this game so many times. Really not even funny. I just, especially when I was a little kid, playing through Zelda games, it gives me this feeling of wonder and adventure and excitement, and the characters in Zelda games are so simple, and yet they are so fun and imaginative and interesting, and they're very memorable. On top of that, you have this great music that the Zelda games have, especially Ocarina of Time, that you just like remember for the rest of your life. Like, it just sticks with you like glue. Hook shot. Now, someone had asked me to talk about the timeline. There's a lot of speculation on the timeline for Legend of Zelda, and a lot of people don't even really know that there is a timeline. Back when Ocarina of Time had been released, Shigeru Miyamoto had said that Ocarina of Time was chronologically the first game in the Zelda series. Since then, though, they have had other games come out, so that might not still hold true. Anyways, hard to concentrate on playing while I'm talking at the same time. Now, as far as the timeline goes, based on the games that have come out since then, it's probably likely a few of the games have now taken place before Ocarina of Time. But one of the interesting things is Ocarina of Time actually splits off into two timelines that the games continue from. This was said a little while after Wind Waker was released. One of the developers had said that Wind Waker took place after the adult timeline of Ocarina of Time, so that set a lot of speculation up for the theorists that try to figure this kind of thing out. Basically, the way it works in Ocarina of Time, you eventually time travel. You get basically frozen in time and become an adult, and your character Link has no awareness of the time between then and now. When you defeat Ganon at the end of the game, Link actually goes back in time to return to his childhood and continues on from then. However, what was done at the end of the game still happens, so everything that happened during the time that he was an adult goes off on its own different time stream. For example, why did I do that? Ocarina of Time leading to Wind Waker is due to Link going back and leaving Hyrule, and when he does so, the Triforce that he had with him cannot leave and is split apart, and causes the cataclysmic event that causes Hyrule to be submerged in water. And then the timeline that splits off from this period, the Link as a kid, is actually when Link leaves to find Navi, who leaves him at the end of Ocarina of Time when he's a child. Link goes to search for her and leaves Hyrule, at least some aspect of Hyrule, and goes to the world of Termina, thanks to the happenings of Majora's Mask. And things go off from there. So the timeline's definitely pretty fuzzy. In many games, they leave a lot of subtle hints, sometimes extremely subtle, things you have to really search for. Sometimes the hints are pretty obvious. Like I believe it is at the beginning of Link's Awakening, we see that Link is in a boat, and in another one of the 2D games, you see him getting on that same boat and leaving. And then there's another game where you see him actually arriving on the boat, and it's the exact same boat. Anyway, so there's things like that that kind of help you with the timeline. The timeline's really not completely important, though. It's really not important at all. It's there for the die-hard fans, as the games definitely don't have any real necessity to the chronological order. Like, there are some games where you're going to be playing as the same Link, but in most games you are different Links, like his reincarnation or ancestors and such. So, anyways, that's enough about the timeline. One of the 23 is number 1. Yes, I remember. One of the other, my other favorite Zelda games is actually Majora's Mask, and that game had a bit of hate towards it when it first came out. A lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people said it was because it was too short, and so a lot of people were also confused by the whole 3D aspect. Majora's Mask is actually one of the longest Zelda games. It's only short if you don't bother collecting the masks. The game has these 50 masks that you can collect, 3 of which you have to collect through the storyline. The rest are all optional, pretty much. I think there might have been a few others that you actually did have to get, now that I think about it, but it's not that many. It might have been like 7 total that you had to get. Anyways, if you actually bother to get all the games, or all the masks in the game playtime is extended greatly, and it's very much worth it. Each mask quest will have these unique side quests. Some are quick and fast, some of them are very long. Sometimes you'll mess up and you have to repeat the 3-day cycle over and over again, because a lot of things won't happen on specific days in Majora's Mask, and it's kind of complicated to even explain it. You have to do everything just right to get some of those masks, and it's really fun though. They have really unique stories and characters, and another reason I really love Majora's Mask, it was definitely the creepiest Zelda game. There's a lot of things with people being kidnapped, and ghosts of children, and ghosts in general. There's aliens, and it was just definitely the creepiest game, and had some of the creepiest music, especially when you got to the I don't know what it's called. It's the deserty temple in the canyon, the Kana Canyon. The music there was very creepy. Great game. If any of you played through it and just went straight through it, didn't bother collecting all the masks, I highly suggest you go back and do so. It will be a completely different experience for you. Wind Waker is another one of my favorites. The exploration in it was really fun. Going through all the islands, there's a lot of side quests you could do. It was very interesting game. Very different from all the others, especially since it doesn't technically take place in Hyrule. It takes place above Hyrule, since it's all submerged in water. And the graphics style, people complained about it, but it really don't even think about it when you're actually playing it. It was still a great game despite its graphics. I mean, who cares if it was cel-shaded, really? It's still Zelda. I mean, when a Zelda game is bad, it's something that happens once in a blue moon. It is very rare. Nintendo makes sure to not screw up their Zelda games very carefully. Definitely had one of the most interesting storylines to it. Definitely had a lot of great characters as well. Twilight Princess is another one of the really good ones. A lot like Ocarina of Time, especially in its adult style. Oh. But, God, I love it also had a lot of creepiness to it. And Midna was one of the coolest characters ever. Oh, stop it. 23. Here's number 1. As far as my favorite 2D games go, it would have to be A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. I mean, A Link to the Past was the first Zelda game that really captured the style of what Zelda is, with the going to dungeons, getting an item to help defeat the boss, and coming back out into the main world. It had all the side quests in it. It had the extra items that you could obtain. It was great. And A Link to the Past was very fun. It had a lot of imagination to it. Really captured what the handheld games became and stayed as for a while. I love all the handheld games except for Spirit Tracks. I'm not a fan of Spirit Tracks. I dislike it greatly. Definitely, exploration part of it was just horrible to me. Alright. Looking forward to Skyward Sword. Weird graphic style, like Legend of Zelda meets Mario Galaxy, but still, I have a feeling it's not going to be bad. I love the bosses in a lot of games too, they're fantastic. Generally puzzles on their own, and most bosses have so many different ways you can try and beat them. Like a lot of people, I remember when I'd watch them fight Queen Goma here, they wouldn't think to attack her when she was on the ceiling, so she'd have a whole other phase she'd go through before you could beat her. It made the fight last quite a bit longer. And quite a few bosses like that. So anyways, yep, that was the first temple. Gonna cut this off here, and gonna see how long this lasted, and depending on how long it lasts, I should add a message to the end of the video, or we'll just cut it off here, and I'll have some information below. Remember, as always, please subscribe if you like what you saw, give a thumbs up if you liked the video today, and ask questions about video games, anime, Doctor Who, whatever, and it might be answered in the next vlog. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey everyone, well, it looks like I did have a bit of time to add in something after the video, within the 15-minute restraints, so I'm going to leave a quick message before this ends. I am going to have a contest starting next week. I have a few different games that are going to be winnable by the contestants. I'm not going to display. I'm not going to give any information out about what will have to be done to win these games now, but I'm just telling you guys. I've got a bunch of indie titles, and one of the games is actually Mass Effect 2. So just keep that in mind. Keep a lookout next week, and it should be up. Thanks for watching, guys.